Bonjour YouTube. What's up? It's Breaking Solarians, and I got another review coming for you right now. And this time I'm not going to be reviewing a song. I'm not going to be reviewing an album. I'm going to be doing a movie. I'm going to be reviewing a movie, and this movie is called Snow White and the Huntsman. Um, I went and saw it last night, and I saw it in theaters not too far away. And my first thought is it was a good movie. And I was surprised because normally I don't usually see Kristen Stewart as a fantastic actress, but the supporting characters in this movie were so good. Were so good. It just added this thing to the story. And one thing I will say, what they did with the story is they reinvented it. They almost took they took the fairy tale and built off of it to make it this crazy war movie, and it was so fantastic because they still incorporated parts of the fairy tale in there. And so basically, the oh, by the way, this might contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, don't watch this. But okay, so the movie starts off with Snow White, who is born to the king and the queen, and her mom dies when she's very young, so her father goes to fight in battle, and while he's in battle, he finds a prisoner, um, who who he who he finds beautiful, so he decides to marry her, and so she becomes the queen, and then the queen kills the king in his sleep, and then takes over the kingdom and starts to rule with an iron fist. Snow White's locked away in a tower, and she escapes, and the queen sends a huntsman after Snow White to try to kill her. So that's basically the premise. But I thought they worked this story really well. And honestly, I think Kristen Stewart was the perfect actress for this film. She might not be the most skilled actress, but she pulled off the role incredibly well. And and but my favorite character in the movie was definitely Liam Hemsworth, who is the same guy from Thor who played the Huntsman. His supporting role was insane. The acting was amazing. The accent was right on par. Um, and he really added a part to the story. Like, he wasn't just an assassin or a bounty hunter. He really connected with the main character and affected the storyline in his own ways. Because I can almost remember that the huntsman saved Snow White's life at least 3 times um, in the film, including including a fourth time when she died and he brought her back to life. But so so, anyways, so out the guy who hired the huntsman tells him that the part of the deal that he wanted can't be done. So the huntsman turns on them and tries to help Snow White. And what Snow White does is, after a brief like um, section where they weren't so friendly with each other, they get together and they decide to revolt against the queen. And I thought this was really cool because it still incorporated parts of the story, but it added a realistic effect to it. And they really used some really nice references to real life. They used things like the Lord's Prayer. They had real weapons and bow and arrows, and and the real concept of warfare, which I don't think was introduced in the actual story. And one thing I will say is that the dwarves played a whole role in this too. I didn't think the dwarves were going to show up, but they did, and their role was really nice. How it supported the cast. Because in the final battle, the dwarves sneak into the castle and they open the gate for the soldiers. And what I think happened there is if you didn't have the dwarves, you wouldn't have the gate open, you wouldn't have the battle, and chances are you wouldn't have to win the battle. So it was really cool how they took the supporting role of the dwarves and they made them into these ferocious fighting creatures, and not just these goody things that walked around and helped Snow White be pretty. And I thought that was really cool. But anyways, during the final battle, Snow White decides she wants to kill the queen and she wants to become the rightful queen of the kingdom. So she and the huntsman and a few other soldiers go up into the palace to try to overthrow the queen. And so somehow the queen uses her magical power to basically rain hell upon Snow White once they get up there, and basically wreak havoc and don't let anything really let Snow White get to her. But and one thing I will say was really interesting is that the queen actually had a spell on her. They said that until her spell was broken by killing her, she had to be killed by the fairest of them all, which was Snow White, according to the prophet, or according to the mirror, and that's why the queen wanted to kill her. Um, and the only way to disable the prayer was to, or not the prayer. What am I talking about? The spell was to kill her, and to was to kill Snow White, and then she would have youth forever. She would have the spirit of youth forever. And Snow White went up and she stabbed, and she got into a hard fight with the queen, and kept going at her, and it was this hard fight that you were just waiting for to end. And finally, Snow White just stabbed the queen right in the chest, and just killed her. And she died that way because she was the fairest of them all, so she was the only person that could kill her. And so basically that's the plot, and I thought it was a really interesting story for a really interesting movie that was reinvented. I enjoyed watching every minute of this movie. I would go see it again. If you haven't seen it, I hope you didn't listen to the whole plot very much, but if you haven't seen it, go see it, because it will not let you down. It's a fantastic film, and I would recommend it for just about anyone. It's definitely a solid film, and I think it's one of the best I've seen this year, mainly because it's so unique. It's so unique, and it has its all tweaks to it that all work so fantastic, and they all work together in sync that just make it a great movie to watch. So this movie's an 8.5 to a 9. I would definitely go recommend it, because it won't let you down. It's a thriller, and you just keep wanting more. And one thing I will say is that I hope there's a sequel. I really hope there's a sequel, because I would be really curious as to what would happen. But alright guys, this has been my first movie review. I thank you for watching all my videos and putting up with all my stuff. But anyways guys, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.